Well, I have got a little trick up my sleeve for you today. And this is how you can turn your greatest liability into your greatest asset. Now, what does that mean and how can you benefit from this? Well, everybody has weaknesses. I've got weaknesses, you've got weaknesses. Everybody who's in business, who's an entrepreneur has liabilities. They have parts of their business that are just weaker. They're not just maybe performing as good. And I have been using this strategy for a while, which is, what is my weakest spot and how can I leverage this to become an asset, something that adds value to me or my company or my clients or something in some way, it brings good. And it's a really great question to ask yourself. I think questions are the best thing that we can do to uncover our next move. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you are always growing, you're always stretching. Even if you're in employment and you're thinking about goals, you are going into uncharted territory. You're going where you've never gone before. Fear will pop up, resistance will happen. So there's going to be parts of your business model, or there's going to be parts of your goal or your plan or training, whatever it may be, that are going to be your weak spots. And I think the great thing to do is to identify these and ask yourself, is there something I'm not thinking about? Is there a way that I could just reposition that over here? Or what could I do to bring more value to this area? Like for an example, maybe you have a sales team, and in any sales team, there's a top performer, and then there's always someone who has to be at the bottom just by law of averages. So think about this. If you're a sales leader or leading a team, or you have kids and you're starting to see that there's a weakness in terms of maybe development, start to ask yourself, what can I do differently? How can I make this a positive? How can I see good in this? Especially if you're thinking of the sales team member. Maybe the wrong team member is in the wrong position in your company. Maybe they would be absolutely amazing over here in marketing, or over here in delivery, or working with your clients, delivering the service. Maybe it's content creation. Maybe it's video. Maybe it's behind the scenes. And I think every business owner should look and assess their whole processes and see, where are my weak spots, and have I got the right person in the right role? Would that be a better asset if I move this over here? And I tell you what, it'll probably make the person happier, it'll make you more profitable, and you'll start to be able to tweak and change this machine that you're building so that it becomes smoother. You should always be analyzing your processes and systems, always. And the thought that I always have is, how can I make it easier, and how can I make it faster, and how can I make it work when I'm not here? So I've given you 3 to 4 good questions to ask yourself today. And if you ask them with an intent of receiving guidance and an answer, you will get an answer. That answer might come to you in a flash of an idea, or a hunch, or an inspiration. Or you might tomorrow or the next day walk into somebody you haven't seen for years and they just happen to mention something. Questions are the key, because when there's a question, there is always an answer. So where you're at right now, whatever you're doing, there's an easier way, there's a better way, there's a more fun way, there's a shorter way. It's all there, because it has to be. If there's a hard way of doing it, there has to be an easy way of doing it. If there's a slow way of doing it, there has to be a faster way to doing it. So the key is, are you focusing on how to improve, or are you looking at the liabilities or the weaknesses going, ugh, and then that drags. It's like an anchor on your mentality, on your actions, on your business, on possibly your team. So today, go back, list those questions that I give to you. Start to ask yourself, if I knew the answer to this, what would it be? You may not know the answer, but the answer is there. So if you put it out, it must come back to you. I'm so grateful that you are here on our YouTube channel. Please make sure and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you love, and we'll bring more incredible content to you soon.